What's your dream? What's your hope for Do Better? Why'd you do this?
My hope is that we can have our practitioners able to step into their power, like I mentioned before, and really be confident in the work that they're doing and recognizing that we are a human service field. We can build strong connections and relationships with the clients and their families. We can honor and affirm the folks that we're serving and take their perspective and really recognize that. And when people in 10 or 15, 20 years think about behavior analysis, that's what they picture. They picture people who have a strong understanding of how to restructure the environment to support everyone, and they're helping people find their joy in the human experience, whatever that means to them. And so my hope is that people can really be analytical and flexible and get back to how can we take what this human in front of us wants and change the environment or give them the tools that they need to navigate the world to have the life they want to have. And that's what behavior analysis will be associated with, as opposed to thinking about people who are, rigid data collectors and robotic and all the typical criticisms you hear of our field. We learn the most from people who aren't even in behavior analysis often. And that sense of community is helping people to see that they're not the only ones practicing in this way. They're not the only ones going through these same struggles, or in both life and in their professional work as well. So it really gives them an opportunity to find that peace that they would need to continue to practice the way they are, find new areas of growth, give back and teach others what they've learned, and receive and learn from others as well. We're usually the ones giving. We don't really receive. We take in information from our clients. We're constantly analyzing that information and trying to figure out what the next steps should be. And there's not an opportunity to really just be fully present and sit and just receive information from what's happening in our environment, and then also just people to us about ourselves. And I think that's just a common thing in the world in general. As a behavior analyst, it's even more of an issue sometimes because, again, we're just in that analytical mindset all the time. So even when someone gives us a compliment, we might have to say something back, or we might feel a need to analyze that, what they mean by that. Did they really want to compliment me? Those types of things. So with Love Lines, you have that opportunity to really just be fully present. You don't even know who you're receiving from, and people can only share something authentic with you. So there's not that analysis piece doesn't need to come in. You just fully receive those words, and you can take that in, again, get that sense of rejuvenation, a better understanding of yourself. You might hear things from people, impacts you had that you didn't even know happened during the camp experience. And that's something people can walk away with from camp and come back to when they need it, when they need to remind themselves of the work that they're doing and the impact they're having in this world as a human. And there's just nothing more powerful than that, to take complete strangers and realize in just a few days what impacts you had in those moments.
And how does that make you a better practitioner?
Back to ourselves and who we are and why we're doing what we're doing. So then after camp, we're leaving rejuvenated and refilled. We get amazing food too, so that always helps. But we also get this better sense of community when you're playing camp games and you're doing these different camp activities that you wouldn't normally do in your everyday life. You're not going to do those at conferences. You get to connect with people in ways that you wouldn't normally get to connect to. And especially with how much just happens online now. I've been an online girl for a while. That's where we do a lot of our dissemination. But you have to have that human experience too. And the camp just really makes a fast opportunity for that quick connection to happen. Like if you're at a conference, a lot of times it's overwhelming. There's so many people. It's hard to make those connections. Even though you're there in person, you don't really get those opportunities to intermix with people that you wouldn't normally talk to.